Hello babes, I'm Snow and welcome to my channel. As you can tell by the title of this video, I will be making an album for Sserafim. So real quick, I moved. Moment for the room, moment for the room. This is my room. Obviously, I moved in to my first apartment with my best friend, my wife. Been on like a little month long hiatus because moving is hard. Like, my god, this is a temporary, like work in progress because we're still moving around stuff. I might decide to like film in the living room or film at a different angle. I'm still like moving stuff around. I still need like a wardrobe. I still need a lot of stuff in this room. This is the new like location though, and I don't really think I'm gonna be moving from here anytime soon. Oh, okay, sorry. And then also apologize for the lack of nails. I feel naked, but I'm going to New York in a couple of days, so I'm gonna get nails tomorrow. But obviously, have to give them a break at some point. So moving on from my own personal life, jumping into the actual video. If you haven't watched my other video on this series, which I made an album for Cat's Eye, this series isn't oh what I think La Sserafim is gonna do. This is what I would do with La Sserafim if I was their creative director. Because I would love to be a creative director. If you need a creative director, hey, look at this as a resume, babe. And I will eat your firstborn if you steal ideas. I love music. I love all things music. I love everything about music. I love just listening to music, consuming music. Music is my drug. No, whatever the fuck. And I'm a film major and I'm gay, so I feel like that's all the requirements I need. Obviously, I'm kidding, but and again, I want to say like I make these videos out of like love and adoration out of these groups. Even if I do like shade their creative team or whatever in the process, like I am but a person that thinks she is always right. So this is all done out of like love and adoration, even if I'm like seeming to shade a certain aspect. It's tough love. Going into Le Sserafim right now, they're on track to have a comeback soon. A full album as, the pattern goes, because this is another installment of a trilogy that they're doing. This trilogy that they're doing is obviously easy crazy hot because of one of their film teasers when they first released like the teasers for easy. That's kind of just the pattern that they've been doing. So I, instead of trying to make like a whole brand new idea, I'm just gonna kind of piggyback off of like the whole like hot, because we still don't really know what they want to do with hot. It's just like hot. But the Seraphim's concept is being fearless. Like that's the whole like Le Seraphim being I'm fearless. Like their whole concept is more or less female empowerment and feeling powerful and fearless within yourself, no matter which way you see fit. They've had a variety of different concepts. They're never a group that like sticks to a singular concept, a singular thing. They kind of play around with femininity and I wouldn't say masculinity, but like edginess, I would say. Overall, their concept is something that I want to emphasize within the album that I would give them. Again, kind of similar to what I did with Cat's Eye, because their message is also like women empowerment and being fearless. And, you know, I love that. And I feel like now, especially, is a time where we need that. Please, can we get back to 2020 types of woke? Like, I'm tired. Like, I hated the way that everyone complained about it because I knew we were just going to circle back to whatever the fuck is going on now. And I need us to like circle back, like female empowerment. And I'm not like afraid to say it. But obviously, this would be a spring summer release. I want to say that they would release the film teaser like last week of February. The actual like song and album release, I want to say like March, like mid March, late March. I want to say like the actual like comeback is like late March, early April. Every month or so, we get a new music video or track video, whatever you want to call it, for each of their B-sides. I want to say until like basically the end of the summer. Like I want this to be like a Les Seraphim summer, like spring summer. You know what I mean? As I said again with my Cat's Eye video, I know Cat's Eye isn't K-pop, but the same thing applies. Where I feel like we don't draw out eras anymore. We kind of just like release stuff to release it, and it's like no, babe, you spent so much time working on it. Let's spend more time actually promoting it and talking about it and performing it than preparing it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they take like 3 months to prepare it and a month to promote it. And it's like, well, that feels like a waste of time. I need each album to not have a wicked press tour, but sorta kinda. You know what I mean? Like drag it out. Especially if it's going to be like something you want to be big. Because the thing about big groups, especially like big groups from the big four, it's like they release songs obviously to get into Billboard and whatnot. But you don't actually promote it enough to actually get to Billboard. Like I feel like they just want to take the easy way. And it's like, no, I fear you have to put in work. I fear you need a marketing team. Especially because, K-pop, everything is always kind of like fast paced. If you have just like music videos and like every like once in a while performance video for the B-sides, by the time you're actually done promoting the album, you can release the next album. Like everything is like, oh my god. I always think like, why do you guys make it so hard for yourself? I know why. Like deep down we all know why. But it's like piensan, piensan. You could still wait like a week or a month or something, but like right after, oh, boom, next comeback. So that way people are actually, like still stimulated, if it makes sense. Following their pattern with their trilogies, Hot should be a repackaged, but also a full album. Like it's kind of the end of the trilogy, so it has a couple of songs from the other two albums, just like Unforgiven did. I would say they would actually have 9 new songs. And Hybe's definition of like full album for some reason is like 6 new songs when it's like, well, no. So I'm going to give you at least 9 songs. It's still not a full album. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's still really not a full album, but I'm gonna meet y'all somewhere in the middle. I would say they would have the 9 songs and then 6 songs from the other two albums. So 3 from Easy and 3 from Crazy. The 3 and 3 that I would pick are obviously Easy, Swan Song, Smart, and then from Crazy, Peridot. I never know how you're supposed to say that. And 1-800 Han Fun. And I want to say, like, the overall concept of this album is obviously hot and being hot, but I always like Sserafim's kind of twist on it. Their take on their concept isn't necessarily what you would think, if that makes sense. It's always like empowerment with like a little funky little twist. I don't know how to exactly say it, but for this album, I want Seraphim to be a little whimsy, a little campy, a little fun, but still serving cunt. And they've at least had like concept photos that have had like whimsy or like an element of camp to it. So it's not like anything that's outside of like Seraphim's peripheral. Like it's not something that's like outside of their box. And I feel like it would be a nice callback also to like the fashion editorial side of La Seraphim, like that's the way that they debuted, being very model-esque, being very runway. Why not keep going with the model editorial? See, like you see where I'm going. And because it's a spring summer album, I do want to give them like very like fresh and very like vibrant hair. So for Chaewon, listen, I love the bob as much as anyone, but I've been with her since Eyes One, and I just need more long hair from Chaewon. Please, like the bob is so cunty. I know she looks so good in the bob. She looks so good in the bob, and if she wants the bob, like, hey, keep it, babe. But can I please like have just like a moment of long hair? Just like a moment. But for Chaewon, I'd want her to have like golden hair, like Goldilocks type hair. I feel like she'd look so pretty and it'd be so like beautiful with her skin tone. Like, here's the thing, I'm also tired of like the whitewashing. I want hair colors that complement the skin, that we can actually see the skin. But I feel like the golden blonde would be so beautiful and so just like cute. And I'd like it to be, a little wavy most of the time. We can keep the bang, but long hair, please. Long hair, golden hair. Mwah. For Sakura, I want her to have that cherry cola red wine hair color. I feel like that's going to be a 2025 like hair trend in K-pop, and I'm going to make a video about that very, very soon. But I would like her to hop on the trend and kind of like make the trend and be like one of the forefronts for the trend of this year. You know what I mean? But I'm getting that whiff of that trend, and she would be stunning in that fucking red. Like, are we kidding? But like, I want it to be like a genuine, like, dark, like red wine color. Because sometimes they do it and it's just like a dark red. And it's like, well, that's not what I meant. Yunjin, I want to give her like, I don't know the exact hair terms because I'm not a hairstylist, but kind of like a wolf, not like a long wolf cut, butterfly cut, like just like layers, honestly. It's not necessarily wolf cut, but it's like cute layers, like genuine layers, and blonde. I feel like I miss the blonde very much, very, 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 very much. And I would like for it to make a reappearance. And I think that I feel like she would look so cunt, blonde, layered hair. I'm struggling because I'm not a hairstylist. Listen, it's okay. I'm providing visuals. It's okay. I have to tell myself it's okay. I'm providing visuals. But yeah, I just want to give her something feminine, but something that she can also like fudge up, if you know what I mean. Kazuha, I'd like for her to have the Oreo hair. Only had, listen, she had like a strip of blonde hair for a moment. That does not count. I do not care. I would like her to have Oreo hair. Specifically, I would like her to have the bottom half of her hair black and the top half of her hair blonde with, I think she has bangs still right now. Still keep like the bangs. I love the bangs on her. But yes. Please. Listen, if it's fine if she doesn't like dyeing and bleaching her hair. I need them to stop being scared of doing shit to her hair because sometimes I don't even do like hairstyles. Kazuha needs to be in way, 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 way more high ponytails. Are you fucking kidding me? Why the fuck is she not in a high ponytail like 80% of the time? She like there's so many idols that I'm always like, if you don't put that fucking hair in a high ponytail right now, like they look so good with their hair like pulled up, if you know what I mean. And it's like and it'd be so like you could still do hairography. You could just whip it. Like you could still do it. You could still do it. You could still do it, babe. Especially like you could still get the extensions and make it really long. Like I'm getting like heart pains. Like then lastly for Unche, she's gonna get Neapolitan hair. It's so cute. She looks so cute in it. And yeah, I feel like I don't have to explain it. It's a cute hairstyle. She'd look absolutely adorable in it. And at some point, it'd wash off and she'd just have blonde hair. And she looks fierce in her blonde hair. I think at some point, she can even dye it pink, si quiere. Or dye it light brown, si quiere. I need more girls in light brown, actually, low key. She could, okay, after the Neapolitan hair, she dyes it light brown. I don't know. I feel like I'm eating personally. Plus, listen, I need more hairstylists, and this is not a read or anything like that, but I need more hairstylists to actually think about group image and like, okay, what hair colors would actually like, yes, look good on the person, but also like look good together. Like, we can't keep having like pink hair, dark, 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 one pink hair, one blonde. Like, that's not enough like group synergy. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine if there's like a couple of dark hair, but like, if we have like one blonde and one pink hair, why not have a couple of light browns? Why not have like a couple of like more blondes? At least a lighter brown. Like it doesn't have to be light brown. But y'all are having like black, black, dark brown, dark brown, dark brown. Let's think about group synergy for a second. And then I want to briefly talk about the concept photos and then get into the music. So, the three concepts I'm seeing, it's pastel desserts, intergalactic cowgirl, and velvet dollhouse. I feel like all three of these really encapsulate Le Sserafim, and I'll explain how. And listen, I personally love Le Sserafim's like music and their concept photos. I don't like the fact that they're never really cohesive because it's like, okay, I love like let's say Unforgiven. I love Unforgiven. But I really wish we had a song that was kind of mirroring the concept photos, you know what I mean? So this is mirroring the concept photos. I'm not doing that like no, sorry. So for pastel desserts, I'm thinking very like editorial makeup. I want them to be in like a candy wonderland, but also it's like pastel. And again, very editorial, very cunty, very campy. Again, pastel. Yeah, they can obviously like be with the props of like candy and ice cream and other desserts. I would say I think it would be also really cute if they had like fun accessories that were kind of desserty, like cake shoes and like candy nails and clips that are like biscuits or some shit like that. Like I think that would also be really cute, but not too much. Like I still kind of want to give it like that ethereal, like editorial look. Like I don't want it to be too like campy and like quirky and whatnot, but just like a little touch of it. I want it to be done like very luxuriously, but still pastel and cute and pretty. What is going on? Hey baby. Te vas. Te vas. Hello, what did I do? So for intergalactic cowgirl, I feel like the name explains itself. I want them to be very cowgirly. Again, cunty, editorial, low key cowgirl. Like cowgirl, obviously, but not like costumey. Like very, there's kind of like multiple things I'm thinking about. There's obviously like the UFOs. They can kind of emulate Red Velvet's, I believe, really bad boy concept teasers, if you know what I mean. I think that was really bad boy. Or no, it was what's the album with Pose? Is it Birthday? It might be Birthday. I might be thinking about Birthday. I think I'm thinking about Birthday. Those concept teasers, like I like we can kind of like do that they're being abducted by UFOs, but we could also say that they are the aliens themselves. It's kind of giving like a bit of Western like aesthetics, but very like feminine and very like cunty, but still like kind of fun with the UFOs. And I want it to be very colorful and like actually like, and I kind of want this to be the main kind of image for this concept, the intergalactic cowgirl. That's like my favorite one, honestly, and I'd love for the Seraphim to actually do this. Like they'd be so like I it'd be so fun. And for the last one, Velvet Dollhouse, again, the name kind of speaks for itself. And callback to Yoonjin's doesn't equal doll. I don't know how I'm supposed to say that. Idol. You know what song I'm talking about. It could be a callback, but it's kind of them in a dollhouse setting. I kind of want to emulate the feeling of just like cute but creepy. I want to say the photographer or the videographer that did the like anti-fragile, was I saying Unforgiven when I meant anti-fragile earlier?
Well, sort of, kind of.
I totally meant anti-fragile. It's fine. This is why you eat something before filming, guys. Anyways, I wanted to emulate kind of like that bit of feeling from Anti-Fragile, but a bit more on the creepy side, like Cuba creepy. Cuba creepy. I want it to be the same photographer though, because stunning, beautiful. I would just want it to be a bit similar to the feeling of, I think it was BTS's what era? Love Yourself Answer, the one where they're like in the box with the hands and the eyes, kind of like that. A metaphor for them being the dolls that everyone wants them to be and being like played with and blah blah blah. I wanted to emulate that. I kind of want it to be like they are kind of the dolls, but they are dolls trying to escape and just a bit creepy. I want them to play around with actual like photography. Again, like the anti-fragile like actual photo book, I forgot what version it's called. They have like really cool like different angles and different like props, and they have different styles of photo shoots instead of just like the classic beauty shots, which I love, and I want us to kind of do that with this one. Like the other ones were kind of more quirky, and this is more on the serious side of the Seraphim because they always have like an underlying message. But that's what I kind of envision for the photo books. But to start, Le Seraphim always has an intro, and so starting off with the actual sound of the album, Le Seraphim is known for having an intro for their albums, and it always is the first thing that comes out for their comebacks. It's, the film teaser. For this film teaser slash intro, I would call it Melted Sun, and it would sound like, to me, Searching for Their Friends by Lucemble. It is Lucemble's intro, and it's shorter than Le Seraphim's because Le Seraphim usually has talking in it. It's usually like a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes. But this is at least like captures the overall vibe of what I want anyways. It's giving like whimsical but still very classy and feminine and elegant. I feel like I'm entering like a different dimension, like it's so like whimsical and fun, but like still like, it can be very like feminine and classy, but it's like meant to be like a bit whimsical. And for this concept, more or less, I want it to be the Femi's version of Alice in Wonderland. Not really, but sort of kind of. I want it to be kind of like, alternate reality, very colorful, very kind of just like dream world, Wonderland sort of thing. Make it fashion. I'm saying fashion, so it's fashion.
Fashion.
It's
It's
fashion.
fashion?
But
Wait, but
is
is
it
it
fashion?
fashion?
Overall music video is Unche doing like little silly experiments on a shooting star that had fallen into their little world or whatever. I'd say we don't have to see it visually there. We could just like see the star. And I want it to like actually like look like a star and it's just glowing and it's just like a big prop. She's just doing little silly experiments on it. Other Femmies are like, okay girl, whatever you say. Until she decides to like eat a chunk. Like she like breaks off a chunk because like, I haven't tried one thing. And so obviously you're not supposed to just eat a straw. So I want the girls to like, oh my god, no, don't eat it. Like what the fuck? What are you doing? Like again, if you hear the song, you can kind of envision like the and it's like them pulling her on and then like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? To start actually promoting the comeback besides releasing, the teasers and whatnot, I would say is to one, release a Femi's variety show based around, I would say something like springy, summery, something like fun that you can make multiple episodes. It doesn't necessarily have to be something like camping. It can be like, ooh, the Fimmies in Los Angeles learning how to surf, like for multiple episodes, or like them just doing like different activities each time where it's like, oh my god, them learning how to like put a bouquet together, them learning how to surf, like some stuff that's like still like seasonal but fun activities that like people do like to see people like idols do on variety shows. I would say two, also release more content with dancers. They had, released Crazy, the dance done by Juicy, but I wish that they had done what, again, I keep talking about Lusamble. I love Lusamble. They should have done what Lusamble did, which they released a video dancing with the creators of the TTYL dance with them. I always forget her name, and I'm so sorry because I'm not a dancer. And my oomphs got really offended when I didn't know who she was. She's a big person in Jam Republic, and they had released like, oh, them dancing with her and them learning it from her and then like doing it with her. Like I wish we had done content like that with Juicy Couture, and we didn't, and that's fine because we could just do it this time. I say we could also just have like sometimes a guest dancer kind of like learn from like, let's say like actually someone from Jam Republic or one of the other dancers from, let's say, like BB or Mana Queen or what's the other ones. Um I'm not a dancer. I'm not good at these names. 1 million. And then finally, I'd put them in actual like spaces where they'd flourish. I'd say a problem with La Sserafim that I find is that they don't necessarily promote them individually. They kind of like, and they don't even like necessarily promote as a group together, but I feel like they don't do as many like variety shows as other big four groups do, if that makes sense. Or I just feel like there's been a lack of them in general. Like, actually, low key, I lied. I feel like there's just been a lack of like groups going on variety content in general, and that needs to change. And I'd say an aspect that needs to change is like not actually sending your idols where they would flourish. Like, why not make Le Sserafim more popular in Japan? Even though they're already crazy popular in Japan, why not keep the momentum going and get more fans in Japan? Because hey, you can always get more fans in Japan by sending Sakura out, by sending Kazuha out, by like having them like do Japanese shows or even just like vlogging in Japan, just like casually sometimes. Like, I don't know, like people, especially like idols when they are from like foreign countries, like those countries will ride or die for those idols. So I don't know why we don't utilize that more, if you know what I mean. Especially because, girl, you have Sakura on your team. Like I always say this about the Seraphim anyways. Like I feel like they don't utilize Sakura enough because it's like, hey, she's literally one of the most known idols, period. Like of all time, like actually, genuinely globally. So it's like, why not? Why not? And I know y'all always like get on Kazuha for not like doing the ballet, doing the ballet. personally for me, she hasn't done enough ballet things. Like, where's the video where she's like teaching kids how to do ballet? Where's that content? Where's her learning it from a renowned specialist? Where's the content of her just like learning like a new acrobatic thing just because she can, because she's so flexible? Like, where's that content? Where's, actual collaborations with American creators? We can have Quinn Blackwell, like the show that she does where it's like cooking with celebrities. I know as like K-pop stans, we usually do find like influencers and people like that insufferable and annoying, but they have untapped audiences that no one's utilizing. And I mentioned this briefly in my Cat's Eye video where I also wanted them to collaborate with more influencers. These are untapped like listeners. And I know like necessarily, especially currently, I've been very like, I don't want K-pop to get out of like this circle that it already has, because it's already like reached an audience that I don't necessarily want it to reach, because all of a sudden we're so sensitive and so weird about certain things. And so I know it's hard to be like, oh, but I also like I don't want them to reach that audience. But girl, if we're trying to like reach big, that's kind of what we have to do. And low key, we don't tap markets that we should be tapping. Why are we not going to Latin America enough? Latin America loves K-pop. Why are we not going to Latin America enough? Why are we not just going to like South Asia, Southeast Asia? Like, I feel like we're fumbling so many bags constantly. And Taewon and Unche can be on Korean variety shows like Hello. I again say that Unche should have a Chu Can Do It. Why? I feel like so many people can have Chu Can Do It. Because it's done so well for her. Like, I love Chu Can Do It so much. I love it so much. If you don't watch it, like, please watch it. She's so entertaining to watch. But like, why are we not doing more Choose Can Do It? Like, why are we not having like variety shows based around like a certain thing? And it's like, oh my god, cute person goes around being cute. I don't necessarily subscribe to the lady, if you know what I mean. But there's, Young G's show. There's other shows like Young G show. You can go and you can do it. Promise was just on. Now moving on from the promotions of before the title track comes out, back into the music. The title track is obviously called Hot. I would want it to sound, it's a mix of two songs, I'm not gonna lie. It's Mantra by Jenny. I'm sorry, I'm dramatic. And Heat Wave by Bronze Ivory. I feel like the combination of these two songs would work perfectly for the Seraphim. I feel like the Bronze Ivory song would be like the perfect like new element, because again, the Seraphim likes to incorporate like new elements into all of their title tracks. I feel like this would be a new element and a new sound for Le Sserafim to do. And plus, Mantra is like the perfect overall message for Le Sserafim, and it's still like a cunty song, it's still a fun song. Actually who they should collab with, and it would be such a gag. Tinashe. Y'all. I listen. A good chunk of footage is just missing. I don't know where it went, and I'm too far into editing to start over. So quite frankly, this is just part two. I'm just gonna keep it pushing, keep moving forward. So for the music video, I want to do sort of a callback to the Intergalactic Cowgirl, in the sense that Le Sserafim are aliens in a UFO coming down to Earth. They have a mission to go to Earth, and they finally go, and and it's like, I'm gonna show my age here. It's like Imagination Movers, the beige guy. It's everyone is just very robot, very mundane, very boring, very just like, So they get there and they're like, oh, these poor people, like, we have to help them. They, promote music, they promote dancing to the people, they throw colors and glitter all over them, really show them the world of fun, I guess you would just say. It has a hint of the like actual genuine Le Sserafim, fearless, one of a kind message that they have, to be your own unique self and to not worry about anything else, like just be you. It's a bit more on the metaphorical side, obviously, because it's just them more so like giving color to the boring, mundane people, but it still fits perfectly in with the Le Sserafim message Not only are the girls, visually spicing them up, but they're doing fun, kooky, crazy things like taking them go karting on the actual streets, we can say. They're kind of giving like cartoon character the way that like they can't get hurt. They're doing like very reckless, random, fun things just for the fun of it, because again, they are aliens. After the whole Coachella fiasco, the Seraphim have been doing nothing but singing live. And as someone who's an A I get scared. I get scared and I get worried because I know for a fact, and maybe people don't realize this, the idols sing way more than they do on camera. Like each, let's say, performance, they run like 3 to 4 practice runs. And if they're singing live, I'm pretty sure they have to practice singing live as well to make sure everything is up to code and like good to go. So if they're singing live, they're singing way more than they should. And I just want to make sure that we're good and we're not ruining and hurting ourselves just to prove a point, because we can prove points in other various ways. I feel like people don't realize how unique the Seraphim's vocals are, because not that they do the same sound, but they always have idols have a very specific way of singing, but the Seraphim have a way more diverse way of singing. I say this about Hasu from Artemis slash Luna too. Why, if you are an opera singer, am I not getting you on shows? Why are you not singing opera like often? And again, I said it earlier, people like get on Kazuha for always doing the ballet thing. I don't care. Do it more. Do it more. Do more content. Do more stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's interesting, it's different, it's unique. I don't care if you milk it dry. You're talented. It doesn't matter. The people that are interested in it will be very interested in it. The haters don't matter. Yunjin on, singing opera shows. We can put them. I know they have done the, what is his name? Mujin or something like that? The Lee Mujin show. This guy. They now have a Tiny Desk Korea, and Mix just did a Tiny Desk Korea. Why don't we go on Tiny Desk Korea? There's the Masked Singer show. I don't know if big groups are still doing it. I know they still do it. I don't know if big groups are still going on it. Why not? There's things they can do themselves, like carpool karaoke or just like booth videos of them singing covers of whatever. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's other ways to demonstrate, hey, y'all have us wrong based on whatever. Because Coachella was not bad. I can't even say it's not that bad. It wasn't bad, period. So I don't really know the big hoopla about it. But I feel like they should have doubled down and been like, we sound good, we sounded good, don't worry about it. Like, I feel like they were all like, oh my god, heads down. And I don't mean any hate towards the girls. I will call it out. The companies should have been protecting them and should have been hyping them up themselves. I don't know why companies don't hype up their own acts. They're their own acts. Why are you not telling them, like, don't worry about the haters? Don't let that get to you. You're fine, you're good. We have experts here, you're talented. You wouldn't be here if you weren't talented. Like, I don't know, there's so whatever. I'm not gonna get into I'm not gonna get into that tangent. Whatever. I feel like they should have also, especially in this time period where people were very much dehumanizing the Seraphim at this point, they should have been pumping out videos to show, I guess, not their human side, but BuzzFeed videos of them playing with puppies, them just being themselves and showing their personalities helps a long way with the way that people treat K-pop acts. It's very dehumanizing, sadly. I don't know exactly a solution for that, but listening to the haters is not the answer. It's about doubling down and be like, you don't know anything. That's why you're not here. That's why you're behind a screen. But they could do, I'd say, like, also that would be fun, that I love when groups do, because groups only have like one cook or no cooks. Cooking shows, there's that like cooking thing where it was like the deaf, mute, blind challenge or whatever, where someone's blindfolded, someone has headphones, someone has tape on their mouth, and they have to figure out how to cook. That'd be so chaotic. That'd be so chaotic. I'm also very surprised that Le Sserafim haven't dressed up that one blonde girl from BuzzFeed yet. What's up with that? And I know that girl's itching and dying for it. She's dying for. Ooh, she's begging. I know she's waiting for it. I know she's waiting for Le Sserafim to touch down on LA. Why haven't they done it yet? Like, I know that blonde girl is waiting. I know it's not her. You know what I mean? I know it's not her. Why haven't they done that show yet? There's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be done with very talented groups. Whatever. So next up, I'm going to be talking about the next tracks on the album. However, I'm a music video girly. I'm a film major. I love a music video. I explain everything via music video or track video or performance video. Everything has to have something. If I'm the creative director, you're going to have a music video for each thing because I don't know. To me, if you're releasing an album, you're releasing an album. There's no point in just releasing something to release it. There you have to like treat each not oh you have to treat each song like a craft, but low key like yeah, why not? Why are we disrespecting our own art? You know what I mean? So not it's not disrespect, but doing them dirty, I guess is the better word. I need to work on my wording. This is a work in progress for us all. I'm getting better. I feel like I'm way more well articulate than the previous Sam, you know? That I'm not gonna lie, that was like a month ago. This video has taken me a lot to edit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want it out. I want it out before they actually start like rolling out the actual teasers of the comeback because I wanted it to be before so I could be like, compare and contrast. But at this point, they're gonna beat me to it, and I didn't think that was possible because they're delaying it a lot. So the outfit for Hot, I want to say, is very, I would say like summery 2000s fashion. Kind of like it took a couple of pages off of like Beyonce and Rihanna's like casual wear in the 2000s. I would say a bit more feminine, a bit also inspired by 2000s Japanese fashion. That's also like wonderful, beautiful, spectacular. I would say very colorful, very it's like a little sprinkle of a core, not really, but like a little sprinkle. Also, by the way, because Pinterest is Pinterest, if you see an outfit and it's kind of like a little like it's imagine an age appropriate version for the youngins, please. I don't want to have to explain it. If I can't find an age appropriate outfit, that's not my fault. Like I can only do so much. But yes, very colorful, a bit similar to their crazy outfits, but not necessarily. It's still just like 2000s-ish, but again, spring summery, very bright, very colorful. Big hats, big accessories. For each music video, I would want it to be released like a month or a month and a half in between. Again, because I want an album to be elongated. Like, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? It don't hurt nobody. It irritates me a little bit when I see like K-pop groups release music videos within like either the same week or like a week apart because it's like okay, you're not even giving me time to digest, and the attention span of these K-pop stans, they're going to ditch the next music video for this music video, and then like we have to also think about the way that consumers consume things. They're not going to consume both at the same time, unfortunately. Our attention span has like been way too fucked up for that via social media and COVID brain. But anyways, moving on to track 3, the first B-side. For this song, I would call it Swimming Pools, and it would sound a lot like Tiny Purse, Tiny Top by Bronze Ivory and Lily Is That You. For Swimming Pools, I imagine it very like, mission accomplished after Earth. They go into the UFO, and the UFO is very Wally, very like obviously gigantic, big. The whole community is living in that freaking UFO. It's way bigger inside than it looks outside. So, to celebrate the successful mission, they would be with their alien girlies, their little futuristic artificial beach on said like UFO. I feel like we should do it's it's so annoying because anytime I want to say something, all I do is reference something. Because guess what I'm gonna say? We should pull a need to know Doja Cat and just like be fully a color. I maybe not the Sserafim girlies because I know how people like the tussle or whatever. I would like to see it. I would like to see it. But at least the background dancers. But the Sserafim can obviously have very bright color face makeup, and they're dancing, they're having fun, they're having a nice little beach party. They could even be playing with like water guns and stuff like that, but it's just like honestly like a fun relaxing day. They're fucking around, they're playing around, and they're having fun, and they're just being girls. I would also add a bit of like silly and candid shots of them, maybe like behind the scenes, especially of said music video. I know Lizard from themselves are a very silly group, so I feel like we should highlight that in their music video, because people, I don't know, people love personality, and when you don't utilize these idols having like amazing personalities enough. For the performance outfits, I would say very inspired, and I want to say keyword inspired by Tropical Gyaru. I would say we should fully lean into it. If it was me, but as a creative director, I have to also think about the way that people consume these, and the way that people consume K-pop. They want different, they don't embrace different. So unfortunately, if they were to do that, it would just be like a whole hoopla. Plus, I don't want to treat the subculture as just an aesthetic, because it's way more than that. Gyaru isn't just like a way of looking, it's like a lifestyle. So I don't want it to just be like, like, oh my god, we're Gyaru now, like blah blah blah, but still be inspired by it. And obviously, give shout out to subculture for being inspiration, but very just like tropical, beachy, a bit more like dramatic makeup. Maybe could also add a bit of like editorial makeup. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but if we're not going to lean into the Gyaru, maybe lean into that more. Moving on to track 4, I would call track 4 Milky Way, and it would sound like Double Down by Black Swan. This one I would classify as like a basic track video filled with beauty shots and choreography. I would want it to take place in the set of Pastel Desserts, so the photo book that we had, the first one that I had mentioned, essentially just the music video in that setting with the same outfits, with the same everything, just giving performance, giving cunt, giving, you know. But also, again, add a bit of behind the scenes, like them posing for the camera, them, you know. I want to say to give it at least some sort of storyline, we can say it's very sleepover vibes. So just a Candyland sleepover. We got the prank calls. We have maybe Baking Gone Wrong. Maybe I even want to give them like the house that Hansel and Gretel has, but they're like the good witch. We can even have them doing each other's makeovers, doing each other's nails, something to keep it very cute and lively. For the outfits and performance outfits, I would want it to be kind of like Smart's cute sister, because I know Sakura is having her crochet brand. I don't know if they're going to like keep it going or if it was just a one-time thing, but if they do keep it going, I feel like this would be a wonderful time to just have a big billboard for it, quite literally their idols wearing it themselves. I would want it to be on the cuter side, very, fitting with the Pastel Desserts aesthetic. Very pastel, very like cloudy and bubbly. And I know that she likes doing it, but I feel like at this point it has to be tiring. I hope she gets a crocheting team, because this has to be a lot to crochet. But you do you. But that's queen right there. It makes sense. Track number 5 is called Seaside. I would want it to sound like Stay By My Side by Vianney. This music video is essentially like the power of friendship. I would want it to take place in Jeju Island. Kind of just like a one-shot. How do I explain it in not fanfic terms? Because I'm about to call it a one-shot, but I don't want to call it a one-shot. Just kind of like a random story. Like, I don't want it to be like, oh, they're lore, but it's just like a narrative music video that exists to just exist. Oh, a one shot. There's nothing else I can really call it, can I? But I would have it be the Sserafim girlies, growing up together, being friends for forever, and finally having to grow up and graduate. Some of them are going to university, some of them are going to university off the island or even like outside of Korea. Some of them are staying close to home, some of them are, searching for bigger, brighter things. And I would just want the music video to be very much them staying together and them still making the effort and still being together regardless of how far apart they are. They will always be together. They will always like have that red string of fate with them. Even though they live different paths now, like they will always be sisters. I just got like Cheetah Girls deja vu. That's fine. These outfits now, I'm not necessarily familiar with the fashion in Jeju necessarily, but for me, I would kind of just take a page out of Tyla's like casual wear. Her wardrobe is honestly like phenomenal, very mwah, but I would give them a very like fun tropical wardrobe, very chill, very just like casual but still very classy. Like I don't know how to exactly explain. Just like very Tyla inspired. I know y'all have beef with like being inspired by other people, but I don't know. Like for them to fit into the set of Bring It On, I would say maybe make it a bit more youthful, a bit more cutesy to fit in with the younger girls. But honestly, like be very fierce. Okay, so for the next track, I would call it Roller Skate slash Retro Heart. I would want it to sound like Sparkle by Artemis, and this one's just a regular performance video. I just really enjoy the song. I feel like it would suit the Le Sserafim girlies very well. And the performance video would just be them very like 1950s diner, modern day diner, but like 1950s style diner, giving very Cinderella story, like where she worked.
Ugh, it must be Halloween. Look what it's doing. The Wicked Witch of the Valley.
I'm gonna be picking up Gabrielle and Brianna.
But actual like good working conditions and not evil stepmothers being bitches. You know, they can rollerblade. I don't know if the Femmies can rollerblade, but you're rollerblading now. Artemis did it for Candy Crush. You know, you have to be good at it because Kim Lip was not good at it. But I would just say them, you know, being in the diner, the performance outfits would be very. I don't like this word because I don't like the perception of it. If anything, they can kind of like steal it. But I would say very like cutesy Americana, not necessarily like oh Americana, but the gingham, the jean shorts, the bows, like just that sort of style of fashion. Not trying to be like oh USA, fuck that, but just like that style of clothing. You get what I mean. The next track I would call Jewel Tears, and this one would sound like Find by Stacy. So for this music video, I'm not too sure on the Seraphim's lore. I don't know if they actually have like genuine like lore or if it's just like a new story each comeback, and that's fine if it is. But in this case, I do want to make like a sort of like lore-ish story. It could be lore, it could not be lore. As we all know, Le Sserafim, the Femmies are supposed to be like angels, and I know that Kazuha at some point had her wings burned. So I feel like it would be a really cool idea if it was like, oh, the Femmies don't remember them being angels. They've had their like wings ripped away, like Blood, Sweat, and Tears Tay, like wings ripped away, and they don't remember their lives as angels. They're living like human day lives, and Kazuha, the one that was burned, still remembers because her wings weren't removed, they were just burned. So she's trying to jog the memory of the other members. She's trying to tell them like, hey, listen, this is the life we had before. We have to go back. We have to do something. We have to go back. And they're either like, girl, what are you talking about? Or they're even just like, I don't want to go back. Shush. I don't want to know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't want to know. I like it here. Whatever you're explaining is terrible. Whatever. Like, like if they were in the Matrix, they wouldn't take the red pill, essentially. And it's just like Kazuha being very distraught and very just like riddled with terrible feelings due to the burden of having this knowledge and this like secret and this burden to herself. I wouldn't necessarily say going crazy, but she's like, you know, going through it. If you want to imagine a happy ending, obviously it would be like the girls, you know, changing their minds and going to her and helping her up and, you know, comforting her. But I would like for it to not be a happy ending. I'm sorry, I kind of like the idea of not happy ending for this. I feel like it fits the song and it fits the narrative I'm describing. So for this one, the performance outfits would be very on the dark side, a bit more grunge and alternative. Not grunge, but grungy and alternative. I'd say a lot of layering, a lot of just like I don't necessarily know what the style is called. It still fits, but it's still more on the darker side, which I enjoy, you know, to give a bit of versatility in the album. I would also kind of make it like a bit more like teenage angsty movie like outfit also just to kind of like emphasize like the bittersweetness or like the bitterness of the song and the music video, and like to kind of like give it another like sad aspect of like, oh my god, they're so young. Track number 8 is called Can't Get Enough. I would want it to sound like Bubble PNG by Emerson Nazarian. If you couldn't tell, love her songs because I gave Cat's Eye one of her songs. Her music is just so good and so pop and bubbly and so fun. So everyone check her out, please. But this one, I would want it to be La Sserafim kind of like jumping into an alien dance party. I would say like on a cute little planet, maybe like one of the actual planets like Neptune or something, but if not, like a made up planet's fine too. I don't know what lore they got again. Maybe they already have a planet, but the point is, alien dance party planet where, you know, it could be like a Lucemble moment where they are like commanders of a spaceship and, you know, they land on an alien planet and then, you know, they crash and they're like, okay, but this kind of bumping though. The aliens fully take them under their wing. They're like, oh my god, girl, we gotta get you set ready for this dance party. Like, what do you mean you're walking in looking like that? You know, so it's like makeover moment from all the aliens. They get like cool like editorial makeup done, and it's just like a dance party. It's a simple music video of just like bit of raver vibes, but not too much. I'm like slowly running out of adjectives for these freaking like performance outfits, but this is essentially the aesthetic for what I'm going for Can't Get Enough, sort of outfit wise. I forget words and I forget what words mean, but it's very editorial, very avant-garde, very colorful, very bright, a slight raver but not too raver because we still got unche, we still got minors, you know, in the group, but slightly raver, slightly colorful, very like yes. And then the last track for the album that I'm giving her is called Beauty Scars. I want for Beauty Scars to sound like Lonely and Gorgeous by Tommy February 6th. This would be the callback to, guess what, Velvet Dollhouse. I feel like because I had it in the photo book, I can't not include it, especially because it gives the Seraphim concept, but in a more dark and serious and more literal way. I would say it's the Seraphim girlies being dolls themselves, having to conform to what I wouldn't say there's like big humans playing with them, but kind of just like being instructed on what to do, but not wanting to do said instructions, but having no choice but to. So it's kind of like, you know, the gray people that I was talking about, it's like they are the mundane gray people themselves this time, like very like dead eyes, like ugh, slaving away, but they're just made to do stupid doll things brought to you by like society or something. I would say very real kind of system. I would say very real issues that girls have to deal with themselves, especially, you know, going through that emotional period when girls stop playing with dolls. I feel like it's a good like analogy for that, because when girls stop playing with dolls, I stopped playing with dolls when I was like 9, which is when my period started and I started like going through puberty and stuff like that. And you know, along with that came seeing the internet and seeing Tumblr and seeing insecurities, and so I feel like that would be a good kind of like nod to that sort of feeling, because I know that that can't just be me. Like I'm sure it's like a universal thing. So it would be them doing like dress ups and makeovers, but like very excessive like makeovers, very like you know those like art of Barbie like doing like plastic surgery and it's supposed to be like a message, but like really that, I guess, like actually genuinely like maybe we can fix her nose, maybe we can contour it this way, I don't like that, wipe, like it's a lot excessive. It like, I'm not trying to be like super realistic with it, but I you know, we can have, if we can, again, I know that we can't do too much because this is an idol group at the end of the day. As much as I'd want to give the Seraphim a serious message, they can't do necessarily the most. If we could do at least an analogy on binging / purging, because a lot of young girls do go through that and it is a normal thing, and we're, you know, not even taught, but like we're kind of like unconsciously told to like keep that shit to yourself. when it's like, no, it's normal, and we even shouldn't be going through that. That should not be a normal thing. There's also, you know, comparing the dolls to one another, things that teenage girls do to each other all the time. But they go through all these things until one of them notices an escape route and is like, actually, like, guys, we have to, please, please, we have to leave right now, please, please. And they, you know, they go through the escape route, they look for the escape, and they go through all that, you know, they end up fighting back, going the escape route, and leaving the dollhouse, only to really be in a more gigantic dollhouse that they don't realize. Society. You see what I'm going? Obviously, you can imagine it way more dumbed down if you think that's like a little too extreme. I am like wishful thinking with this music video, I'm not gonna lie. But it's not something that's like, oh my god, the Sserafim would never do. You know what I mean? But this would be, again, the very like cute but creepy. We can't go like all the way, so we can imagine it very like pink and frilly, not even like dark. Like I think it'd be cool to be very like on the Midsommar side, where it's like bright and it's so creepy that all of this is happening in the daytime in the light, because it's so abandoned. And yes, for these performance outfits, I would want it to be a bit inspired by, you know, pastel goths. I would want it to be, you know, frilly skirts. I would want it to be still very girly, and I guess I'm thinking of, I don't know, y'all, everything is always a reference. I played Style Savvy as a kid, you know, like the princess section from like the gothic store, like that's essentially what I'm thinking about. Style, if you play Style Savvy, you know what I mean. I think it works, and especially because, you know, the Seraphim have been getting more inspired by Japanese fashion. It can also, you know, tie into, you know, I know they have specific names, I'm not aware of them, but like, you know, very Japanese style goths, very princess goth, I guess I should say. Y'all, we made it. This is the end of the video. Thank you so much for going on this journey with me. This, I did not mean for this to take this long. But you know what? We're here. We're done. It's over. And finally now, I really hope that you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed the album that I made for Le Sserafim. Obviously, this is just my opinion, my thoughts, my creativity. You do not have to agree with it. Please be nice about it though. Um, you can obviously, you know, we can go a little back and forth, parlay a little bit on ideas. You know, if you want to expand on a certain idea, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And if you like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already for more videos like these. I'm getting back into my content bag because, again, I moved, I'm finished moving, I'm getting, you know, my life together, whatnot. I keep just whipping my hair. Now, if there's any suggestions you have for other groups that you'd like this style of video, please let me know in the comments as well. I think the next group that I'm going to do is either Frumis or Zero Base One, but let me know what group you would like for me to do. I might also do Artemis, but that's, you know, that's just like wishful thinking in the range of things. But please let me know what group you would like for me to do an album. I try to do different styles, so don't hesitate to be like, oh, there's this group, but you haven't really talked about that style that this group does. Give it to me. Don't worry about it. I got it. Don't worry about it. Obviously, as we get the ball rolling, I'll get more articulate and better at explaining these things. But thank you so much for going on this journey with me. Follow me on social media, by the way. The links are in the description down below. I have an Instagram, a Twitter, and a TikTok. I also have a Pinterest. And yes, and also I want to remind everyone that there is a HYBE boycott at the moment. Right now, we are boycotting all monetary things involving HYBE due to the CEO of HYBE America, Scooter Braun, and the CEO of HYBE being Zionist. The CEO of HYBE has donated money to the IDF, and Scooter Braun is Scooter Braun. There's a long list of things that he has done. Obviously, no one's forcing you to do it. It is just me wanting to spread awareness for the people in Palestine and the people in Gaza. I know everyone likes to say like, oh, well, what does that do for the people right now? People like Scooter Braun and the people like the HYBE CEO are donating directly to the people that are putting them in harm's way. Putting money in their pockets is putting money in the IDF's pockets. So, And that is all for my video. Bye, babes.